Hi, this is Ning. Welcome back to the Soul Memory series. This is the second episode in our four-part explanation of the soul. And today we're entering an important conversation, one that requires gentleness, clarity, and a deep respect for the human mind. Why do some people not believe in the soul? Not from judgment, not from defensiveness, but from understanding. Because when we look closely, the reasons are far more human, far more logical, and far more compassionate than most people realize. Take a slow breath and let's begin. 1. What if disbelief begins with definition, not denial? Let me start with a simple question. How can someone believe in something they've never been clearly shown? For many people, the word soul immediately triggers ideas like religion, fantasy, superstition, something vague or unscientific. So, of course, the rational mind steps back. But notice what happens when the soul is described differently. As the awareness that notices your thoughts, the presence that remains when identity shifts, the part of you that watches experience unfold. Suddenly, people say, "Oh, I felt that." So maybe the issue isn't disbelief, maybe it's that no one ever gave the mind a language it could understand. 2. Is something unreal just because it can be measured? Here's another question worth asking. Does existence require measurement to be real? Modern science is extraordinary at studying matter, biology, the brain, the behavior. But consciousness, the inner experience of being aware, has no weight, no shape, no chemical formula. So many logical minds conclude, if we can measure it, it probably isn't real. But that creates a paradox. You cannot measure love, yet it moves lives. You cannot measure beauty, yet it changes perception. You cannot measure meaning, yet it guides choices. You cannot measure awareness, yet it sits behind every experience. So perhaps the question isn't, does consciousness exist? But rather, has science reached the tools to observe that layer yet? 3. What if rejection comes from pain, not ignorance? Some people don't reject the soul because they are close-minded. They reject it because the concept was once used against them. For centuries, the idea of the soul was tied to punishment, sin, obedience, fear, dogma, control. For those carrying religious drama, the word soul doesn't feel expensive. It feels dangerous. So let me ask this gently. Is disbelief always denial, or sometimes self-protection? Often it's the latter, and that makes complete sense. 4. Can belief exist without direct experience? Another important question. How can someone believe in something they've never personally felt? Most belief grows from experience, and many people have never experienced watching their thoughts from a distance, intuition speaking before logic, synchronicity that defies chance, stillness deeper than the mind, recognition without memory, present during silence, inner strength that survives collapse. So they simply haven't met the soul yet, and that's not a failure. You cannot believe in warmth if you've never felt the sun, and you cannot believe in the soul if you've never touched the layer beyond thinking. 5. Is the mind actually designed to doubt what it can control? Here's something often overlooked. The mind's job is not awakening. Its job is survival. The mind is designed to categorize, predict, analyze, control, protect. The soul cannot be predicted, cannot be controlled, cannot be boxed. So the mind reacts with discomfort. A mind that fears uncertainty will naturally reject anything it cannot fully explain. This isn't ignorance, it's biology, it's the nervous system trying to feel safe. 6. What happens when logic becomes the only instrument? Logic is powerful, necessary, Brilliant. But here's the question. Is logic meant to explain everything, or to walk alongside other forms of knowing? Logic answers how. The soul answers why. Logic organizes reality. The soul gives it meaning. Logic moves linearly through time. The soul remembers beyond time. If logic is the map, the soul is the landscape itself. Those who rely only on logic haven't failed. They simply haven't learned to listen to the other instruments inside them yet. 7. Is it the soul people reject or just the word? Many people actually feel presence, depth, intuition, awareness, inner truth, but reject the word soul because it feels too mystical or religious. So let's ask, does changing the word change the experience? Whether you call it consciousness, awareness, essence, higher self, the observer, the witness, inner presence, the phenomenon remains the same. Language differs, experience does not. H. What if skepticism isn't a barrier, but a doorway? Here's a gentle truth. Some of the deepest awakening begin with doubt. Why? Because skepticism creates curiosity, investigation, honest questioning, refusal of shallow answers, desire for lived truth. Skeptics often awaken deeply because they don't believe easily. They believe only when something is felt, not told. So disbelief is not the opposite of awakening. It is often the beginning of authentic awakening. 9. A final reminder. You don't need everyone to believe in the soul, and the soul does not require beliefs to exist. Some people feel it early, some late, some through heartbreak, some through silence, some at the end of life, some at the beginning of love, some only once, and that one moment stays forever. Awakening has no schedule, and the soul waits for no approval. It simply waits for the moment the mind becomes quiet enough to hear it. Thank you for listening. In the next episode, we will explore how the soul is experienced, not through belief, but through sensation, resonance, intuition, memory, and the quiet moments where consciousness reveals itself. I'm Nin. See you in the next layer.